I know too well that teachers are trained probably in the same, colleges, and they get the certification from the TSC. And probably one will presume that a teacher in a day school, in a district school, will be the same teacher, if you get another one in the national school. But while I was in school, I had the advantage of studying in a national school, and at some point, due to the post-election violence of the year 2007, for some time, I transferred to a provisional school. And then thereafter, I returned back to my national school. And I can tell you for a fact, even as much as these teachers are trained in the same facilities, or they get the accreditation from the same institution, the TSC, when you are in a national school, I mean, you get a different feeling from when you're in a provisional school, and the same thing will apply even when you're in a district school. And probably the best example I can give is you have schools that do not even have the laboratories, the labs. So that if you have an experiment that you are doing probably in a physics class or a chemistry class, you will be less equipped being a learner in a district school or another provisional school as compared to a learner who is in a national school. So I understand where parents are coming from, because every parent will want the best for their children. So that in as much as, and I agree to some extent with Mheshimiwa what he's saying, if you are called to a national school and you do not have the wherewithal, you do not have the finances, you do not have the capacity of getting there, it will be probably best for you at the time being to enroll in that private school or to get to that district school. Yes. But ultimately, I get the discomfort of parents, because if you have the best, you've been called to one of the best schools, and you have that financial incapability. I think it is not also wrong for you to be crying out loud for help so that you can get assistance to go to one of the best schools that are there. So I think that is to the extent of that discussion. Yes. But when you return to the discussion that we had, I saw the Secretary General, Dr. Wesonga. He's also one of my teachers when I was in Maseno School. He taught me history. And I can see the same enthusiasm that he had then. He still has it now. Yes. And I can feel his plight, his concerns. We are told that there is an attempt to privatize some of the national schools or the the public universities that we have. There is a fear that if this is allowed, and of course without the public participation, without the people understanding deeply what is this agreement between this private investor and the government, then we might run the risk of turning our public universities into commercial enterprises. And when you turn them into commercial enterprises, then what you're going to do is, again, you will be locking out potential students, people who are good at their craft, people who can be turned into something useful to the society. You will be closing that door, that window of opportunity. Because look at it this way: the public universities that we have provided what is called an open door for people who are needy, but are, they're students who do well in school. So when that door is opened, at least they do not have that, they do not have the barrier of paying hefty school fees. So when you privatize this institution, you make them commercial enterprises, then we will lack some of the magohas that we had in this country. We will lack some of the Mheshimiwa that we have here, because he is also a product of the university. He benefited largely from the helps that we also got the benefit of getting. So let us be very keen on how we deal with this education sector. I know for some time now, the education sector has been politicized. You mentioned the CBC. You want to mention now the enrollment of students transiting from primary schools to the secondary school. You also want to mention now the privatization of public university. I mean, there has been a lot of debate and politics around this issue. So I think we need to be very careful in how we handle it, how we view it, so that ultimately the promises that we have under Article 43 of ensuring that we have the standard, the highest standard of education being given to the children, or our children, then those promises do not become empty promises. That we ensure that the government of the day gives us this reality.